Good serial number. By the plan, we have...
Hey, Bob, you think...
Sorry, Chris, we have Bob reading to H1.
When it comes out, you can go left. You can go left with this.
I think we can go left. I'll press, if you have a hand on a pass down.
I pretty much have to go all the way down.
Okay.
But that's the same relative distance as...
Yeah, I think I can pass it to you on the left side.
Okay.
And so I think I'm just curious as to if that's going to be long enough to get there from here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I think we need you to read, and I think that's what he was saying too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, it's coming off.
Okay. And which scoop should Chris get, Josh?
So the question on the red, Bob to H1, and then this question on the scoop, it's going to be handoff of H2 to Chris.
Okay. With that, I think we're in a good config. We're ready. Bob is ready to H1. H1 is released. We're ready to drive on H2. Alpha 7, counter 2.
Good settings. Confirm flush. We expect 19 turns.
Tape line is flush.
NASA astronaut Bob Behnken using the pistol grip tool to remove these two scoops.
There's 18 turns. The indicator indicates unlocked.
Copy, 18 unlocked. Good release.
Okay, I'll make my way down. I need a light. Right, I am ready, and I have control.
Okay. You have control of the battery. I am releasing my rack.
Copy that.
You have the battery.
I have the battery.
And the final nickel-hydrogen battery on the International Space Station's power channels has been removed from the integrated electronics assembly.
A little bit bunched up on the HPFR, sorry about that. Okay.
Next up, Behnken and Cassidy will move this battery to its final place on the external pallet. We're now 4 hours and 32 minutes into today's spacewalk, and this was actually a task scheduled for the spacewalk next week. The astronauts completed all of their tasks early today and were able to move into the next procedures.
See here, I'm going to go ahead and just get stable, and then we'll do a little bit of inchworm here.
Yeah. We could just do a little one to get on the other side.
Yeah. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery. I have control of the battery.
Copy, you have control. I have control of the battery.
You have control. I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery.
As a reminder, if you are watching with us today and you have a Twitter account, feel free to send in your questions with the hashtag AskNASA, and we'll work to get some of those answered on air. This next one comes from Patrick, who wants to know how much the batteries would weigh on Earth. Good question, because of course, when in microgravity, the weight of these batteries are reduced to nearly nothing, but on Earth they do have a difference. The nickel-hydrogen batteries weigh 364 pounds on Earth, while the new lithium-ion batteries being installed into the space station's power channels weigh 428 pounds on Earth.
Chris, the brakes are on, and as a reminder, we just want to check the roll and yaw again for a Fox and 12.
In the opposite of 612, copy, that's confirmed.
And Chris, looking at your WVS, we want you to secure the wire tie at the base of the ingress aid before you get in. Yeah, that one.
Like I'm going to pull up on the safety tether. Is it stuck on that kind of lip?
Yeah, it was.
This view from Bob Behnken's helmet camera of astronaut Chris Cassidy as he works to get into position in that articulating portable foot restraint. You can see those solar arrays stretched out behind him, and even further beyond that, Earth, as the astronauts are now orbiting 260 statute miles over the Pacific Ocean.
On the left.
Okay.
See your ingress 8 is towed.
Now ready?
Copy. So, Chris, you're going to want H2 on your BRT from that battery.
H2 on my BRT.
Affirmative, with the BRT running to the battery tether point.
Okay.
An interesting fact about those solar panels that you see, if you were to add together all of the solar panels on the space station, it would take up the total space of an entire acre. Since it is essentially an acre of solar panels in the sky, it means you can sometimes look up at dawn or dusk and see the spacecraft flying over your area. If you go to spotthestation.nasa.gov, you can check out when and where to look up.
Okay, this time I'll go to the other point on the adapter plate and not the handrail. Thank you.
Affirm, heater mat tether point.
My tools go. That was part of the forward plan to move the ORU bag. We're in a little bit of a kerfuffle here. Kerfuffle. I think with this BRT situation, Bob, maybe it's best.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go get it.
You go get it.
And we're good with that. We concur it's the best plan for Bob.
Where is it relative to you now?
Right by my head. It's a complete, like, opposite side of the pallet from where you are.
Okay.
But more towards the outboard or inboard.
Do I have a go to climb onto the pallet, Doug? Brakes are on?
Brakes are on.
I've arrived at the bag.
This view from Chris Cassidy's helmet camera as he is capturing footage of Bob Behnken, EV-1, with the red stripes around his spacesuit.
Charlie and Yankee.
Behnken is retrieving some of the tools necessary to install this final battery to the external pallet.
Best path, about that handrail right there where your right hand is, go straight up it.
This one here?
Yeah. Your target is just around the corner.
Copy. Thank you.
This is one they suggested.
And Chris, affirmative, 7312, but we'll defer to you, of course, if you think it. We just want to make sure you don't think that's going to get in the way of the adapter plate removal or the battery install.
I'd kind of rather have it be here.
I see 7317.
Yeah.
And we're good with that.
If you give me the one of the hooks, I can get that. All right. Confirmed.
Seconds to hand over.
I'm 7319.
All right. Good. That'll do.
Hey, do I need to get it open? You got it?
All right. If you can reach that outside one. Okay. Got it?
A quick satellite handover as the tools needed for this final battery install are in place. This is the Battery 5, a nickel-hydrogen battery, which has been removed from the integrated electronics assembly and will be placed on the external pallet. All of the batteries on the external pallet will eventually be disposed. They will be projected toward Earth and disintegrate upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. We're now 4 hours and 45 minutes into today's spacewalk, and we've seen the removal of all 6 nickel-hydrogen batteries.
The pallet, Chris will be proceeding with braking torque.
I'm off the pallet.
Off the pallet. I am tethered.
Copy.
H1. Line visible.
All good words, we'll brake to a max 1 turn.
To the turn, here comes H2.
Copy.
Just to confirm, you're tethered to the hand, not to the.
Yeah, to the black face.
Good.
And you got the handrail part. Perfect.
We see it looks good.
That's Chris Cassidy in the center of your screen working to install that battery on the external pallet. You will see that external pallet is in the grip of the Canadarm2. Today, the Canadarm2 was controlled by Doug Hurley, an astronaut also aboard the International Space Station.
Alpha 7 counter 2 H1. Here we go.
Affirmative, check flush, and we expect 8 turns.
Is flush. I'll put on the bolt at 6. There's 8.
Copy 8, same settings for H2, we expect 19.
Alpha 7, counter 2, 2 going in.
Good work.
Line flush, driving.
Roger.
Definitely higher running torque than normal.
Higher than the last time?
Yeah, And for about, I'm at 7 turns and it's still there. There we go, it loosened up at 8 turns.
Yeah, the last one that when I installed it, it had the higher running torque about halfway through. About 8 turns it started.
Yeah.
When I put it in, so this one might start even earlier.
There's 19. Definitely out.
Copy 19. And still the PGT reminder to turn it off.
Get it off in a second. Go on. Keep me honest on that, Josh, please.
Wilco. Bob, you'll be writing to the handrail tether point.
Copy. In a tight spot. Can tether to it.
Okay, I'm released.
I've got the adapter plate.
You've got the adapter plate.
Copy. So Bob, we have you headed back to the IEA. Chris will finish up with the PGT still off.
Okay, headed to the IEA.
Copy. Chris, you'll be wanting H2 in your left hand for the soft dock.
H2 going left. I'm about to put load on the pallet.
You're clear, brakes are on.
Copy.
In the top left-hand corner of your screen, you see Bob Behnken's helmet camera as he soft docks the battery 5, the nickel-hydrogen battery, onto the external pallet. This marks the final nickel-hydrogen battery removal on the space station in 3.5 years of upgrades.
Bob, we see you back. Reminder to check gap spanners clear and your reach to the tools.
The gap spanner is clear, and it does look like I have access to the PGT.
Copy, go to ingress. Remember to tuck the tethers and ingress 8 after.
Copy.
Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Affirmative, flush to H2 scoop, Chris, and we expect 16 to 17 turns for torque.
Okay, flush on the tape. Indicator moving.
Behnken will tighten this one bolt to Cassidy will tighten this one bolt to complete installation of that nickel hydrogen battery to the external pallet. We're seeing a few questions come in on Ask NASA on social media asking what will happen to these old batteries. Some of them, as you see here on the external pallet, will eventually be disposed of by sending that external pallet back into Earth's atmosphere where it will burn up.
0.1 foot-pounds, green torque light, and the lock indicator is locked.
16, 9.1 green, and a lock, thanks.
And that battery is fully installed.
That'll do it, right?
The other no longer needed nickel hydrogen batteries are stored on top of adapter plates on the integrated electronics assembly. We saw that happen with 2 of the nickel hydrogen batteries today.
I don't know what the plan is here.
Affirmative. So we're going to do a bit of cleanup on the EP, getting stuff back into the bag, and then we'll head back over to Bob to do a few cleanup steps there before getting back in. In terms of the immediate next action,
the only remaining thing Bob's adapter plate?
That's affirmative.
Yeah, battery probably, right? Yes. Oh.
Okay, that sounds good then.
Okay.
Copy.
There's 4 more batteries.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
There's got to be another one. Don't you guys got another one?
There's never end. There's got to be more.
Kenny Todd on the phone.
We're cautiously share your optimism. So, Chris, you can grab both those scoops, and we're going to be stowing them in the medium ORU bag.
Okay.
Okay, Josh, I want to start giving you some inspections here. I'll start with the IEA. And the electrical connectors look clear, no FOD. The mechanical connectors look clear, no FOD. I don't think the fins are important here, but the EMI band is good.
Copy, Bob.
Get the adapter plate off my BRT and I'll give you some more.
Want an inventory, Josh?
And Chris, we're going to pass the, let me ask.
Make me close it and then open it again.
Okay. Yeah, we concur. So we'll take the inventory now. We only need the ORU bag itself. No need to go after the inventory of the crew lock bag that's in it.
Amen. Okay, so the crew lock bag is there.
Let me get these steps here, Chris, if that's okay, and then I can start working.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, for the adapter plate, Josh, the EMI band, if there was another battery, would be good for it. And the mechanical interfaces for that battery would be good. And then on the IEA side of the adapter plate, both of those phone interfaces look clear with no FOD. So I think I'm ready to go for soft dock and get ready to install.
And we concur, Bob. We're ready for you to soft dock that.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Sorry.
And Bob, it sounds like we're okay here to divide and conquer. So if you're good with getting going on the bolts, we'll just confirm the settings, Alpha 7 as always, and then we'll take the comm with Chris for the inventory.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get you Alpha 7 as usual.
Chris, it sounds like we want to double check that that PGT is OFF before it goes into the bag for good.
Bob.
Thanks.
Hey, Bob, you ready for me to jibber jabber?
I am ready for you to jibber jabber if Josh is okay with my PGT settings Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Those are good settings, Bob. We're good with the plan. You expect 16 to 17 turns on H2 and 4.5 to 5.5 on H1.
Copy.
Okay, Josh, you ready?
We're ready, Chris. Go.
Lock bag is in there. It's attached with its integral ret. Has not been opened. There's a ret with a pit pin and holding a trash bag. There's a ret, the pit pin that has the extra wobble socket. And I attached that ret hook to the adjustable that came off of the PGT, and that adjustable has 2 scoops on it. There is a camera lens cover with a ret. There is a ret to an adjustable with 2 caps. There is number 8 PGT, 2 rets in series, power switch in off, and a 7/16 9-inch long hex. 2 rets in series with a ratchet wrench, a palm wheel, and a 7/16 9-inch long hex head. Outside of the bag, a small adjustable, and a large small adjustable. Inventory complete.
It's a good inventory, Chris. We can do it up. And this is the 5-hour mark, guys. Still limited to 7 hours on consumables with Medox, the limiting one. So we're doing well on the plan that we briefed.
Copy 5 hours, and would you copy green light 16.5?
I copy it.
9.2 on the torque for H2. Okay.
I copy, Bob. Thanks.
H1.
Now 5 hours into today's spacewalk, since the astronauts switched their suits to battery power at 6:10 a.m. Central Time this morning, 7:10 a.m. Central Eastern Time, Chris Cassidy has just taken inventory of all of the tools in his bag, while Bob Behnken works to secure an adapter plate. As a recap, today we saw 6 nickel-hydrogen batteries removed from the integrated electronics assembly.
Copy 4 3/4, green light 9.1.
Those nickel-hydrogen batteries were replaced by 3 lithium-ion batteries.
That's a good adapter plate, Bob, so we're all finished up with that. Thanks.
Copy. For the cable.
Affirmative. We can, however's easiest for you. If you want to get out of the APFR, 10 the PGT back, and then we'll do the cable.
Roger. Where you up to, Chris?
Just have the outer lid closed. I'm just working on kind of tidying up the straps.
Copy, Chris. It'll be going on your BRT when you're done.
Okay.
the one, Josh, that the TA clamps have to get redone on?
And Bob, I believe it is because we're not putting a battery there. I'm going to check for you.
Copy.
And you're correct, Bob, we require them done up on this one.
Copy.
With the completion of today's battery tasks, the astronauts have completed all of the power channel upgrades on the International Space Station. It took 11 spacewalks to complete those upgrades, removing 48 aging nickel-hydrogen batteries and replacing them with 24 new lithium-ion batteries and adapter plates. The first batch of those batteries were launched on JAXA's HTV-6 vehicle in December 2016, and the first spacewalk to install them was on the S4 truss in January 2017 when astronauts Shane Kimbrough and Peggy Whitson conducted the first battery swap spacewalk.
Over the work site, there's nothing remaining. I'm going to get out and head over to Bob. Do you agree?
We agree, Chris, with the reminders that we want to stow the ingress aid to the boot plate and make sure the tethers are all clear, which I guess they would be at this point.
After completion of battery swaps on the S4 truss, the P4 truss was next, and the batteries delivered on HTV-7 in September 2018 were installed beginning in 2019. Next up, the P6 truss received its new batteries thanks to JAXA's HTV-8 vehicle in September 2019. The spacewalks to replace those batteries were conducted in October 2019 and January of this year, 2020, to finish the P6 truss upgrades.
Chris, next you'll be making sure you are 5 feet clear, and when you're 5 feet clear with tethers verified clear, you can give the go to SSRMS for the backoff.
Okay, copy.
Finally, the last set of new batteries for the S6 truss, where our astronauts have been working today, were launched on JAXA's HTV-9 in May of this year, and they were installed in June and July by Chris Cassidy and Bob Behnken.
Up J4 are clear of thawed.
Copy.
So clear the good EMI band as well.
Copy, Bob.
Go to mate.
Go to mate with the standard reminder to check the gap spanner.
The gap spanner is not in conflict with the cable.
We copy.
P4 is mated to J4, the bail is over center.
Copy that.
Okay, Doug. I'm clear. The ingress aid is all the way against the boot plate. There are no tethers in your way. You have a go. Drive to your back away position.
Copy, Chris.
I have something weird with my tether on my boot.
Okay.
Can you look at it?
Yeah, it's just all the way around your leg. Yeah. I would say...
Can you reach it? Or?
Yeah. Can you bring your legs back towards me now? Okay, that's in front of that one. In front of that one. How's that?
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so Chris, we check you back there with the tether cleared. We want you to just pause for a few minutes. That's a result of looking at some of the data coming down to us. And as you pause, we'll take a glove, half, and gauntlet check.
Dry, gauntlets in place, left glove. It's that RTV is like slowly creeping with a more peel back. There's no vectoring or anything showing.
Copy, Chris.
Gosh, what can I do to help? What's the plan?
And Chris, sorry if you missed it, but we wanted just to pause for a few minutes, and then we'll come back to you with a plan in terms of how much cleanup we're going to do today.
Pausing for met rate or pausing because you're figuring out a plan?
And Chris, the reason for the pause is a slight rise in your CO2 indication.
The cap is on J4.
Copy, Bob.
And what's my next?
Just want to make sure the TA clamps are all done up. You might have done that when we were talking about it previously, but just confirm.
All 3 TA clamps are taken care of.
Copy. In that case, we'll go for glove, hap, and gauntlet from you as well, Bob.
Josh, is there a place I can go to rest that I can do something, like a gap scanner? Or?
Stand by.
Or are we leaving stuff?
Yeah, I'm asking for you, Chris, but the word is still just to stay where you are. If you want, you could take some pictures.
Are you clear on what we're doing, big picture right now? Are we working our way towards going in?
I think we're working on our way towards going in, and I think they're managing your met rate for the CO2 elevation, and they're trying to decide how much cleanup to do.
Yeah.
And I think my next will be to start doing things with this crew lock bag.
Copy that.
After I report my gauntlets are both up, and that my half is still dry, and so additional areas of RTP peeling on my left hand, and the right hand looks good.
Thanks for the checks, Bob, and we concur with all your other words. Yeah, we are going back in. The work is all complete. We'll be cleaning up the crew lock bag, and we're just pausing still with Chris to see the CO2 indication go down on that canister.
So I have a go to stow the 9-inch in the crew lock bag and recover the PGT, correct?
Affirmative. Bob, you can stow the hex driver on the ret and the crew lock bag, and then PGT back to yourself with all of its tethers.
Okay. And then we'll talk about how much of an inventory of the crew lock bag we want. For one hex driver.
We're asking, Bob. All right, Bob, no inventory required. All we'll do is put the hex driver back in, and at that point we're going to start making our way back in. Just for everyone's essay, we're at 512 on the PET.
Copy. The hex driver is back into the crew lock bag. I had a good pull test on the pit pin. And I will, am I going to bring the crew lock bag with me, Josh, or not?
And Chris, we are leaving the crew lock bag out, and so we're going to configure it as you found it, doors against structure.
Right behind you,
And,
here's, I'm picking up the pop off there.
And Bob, I think the storage of that bag is however you deem fittest. I have here handrail 2050. If you wanted to disconnect that one from 2050 and run it down to the battery 4 or the DCSU scoop, either one would suffice.
Okay. You just are trying to get the storage structure, right? Yeah, let's go 4. Okay, I've collected the PGT. It's got a red series and an adjustable tether.
It's a good tether config.
And the only other thing you want, Josh, is for the crew lock bag to be configured, correct?
That's correct, Bob. The only other thing would be to take that tether from 2050 and run it down to a DCSU or a battery 4 scoop.
Copy. Yeah, we don't have any scoops on battery 4, so we'll just go to the tether point in the middle.
We copy, Bob. Okay, and Chris, good news on your front. You're free to move again. We've cleaned up as far as we're going to today. We're content to leave the rest to follow on EVA. And so the big picture here is that as soon as Bob has the crew lock bag configured, we're going to be heading back into the airlock.
Copy. Copy. Before Kenny finds a battery.
Obviously.
Obviously. GoPro still working?
Let's see.
Probably do some footage on the closeout here.
Oh, foot. Actually, I got a little bit out of the battery. It turned itself off, but I turned it back on, and it's going to work for maybe a minute or something. Doing a little bit of closeout.
Okay, I've got the Kulak bag configured with the doors facing inboard. It's using the combination of the integral strap, adjustable small, and adjustable large, small. The small is going to handrail 2055, the integrals going to handrail 2050, and the large small is going to the tether point on battery.
Copy, Bob. We see it, and that's a good config.
I think I'm headed towards my green hook. Is that right?
Affirmative. We just want to make sure before we start heading in that you do have both cameras we brought out between the two of you.
I have the still camera.
I have the GoPro and the tether and the putt.
Copy all. So Bob, we did ask and got some troubleshooting steps for that camera if you're interested in pursuing them. There's no rush to get back in. We're at 519. Let me know and I'll send that up.
Okay, let me get to a stable location and I'll be ready to copy. What do you think our consumables give us at this point, Josh?
We're taking a closer look right now. Stand by it. And so, Bob, we're seeing consumables out to anywhere between 6:30 and 7. We're on time to be on schedule to be in the airlock at 5:45.
Okay, copy. Okay, let me take your troubleshooting steps if you want to give me those for the camera.
My green tether hook is on the red Urcum reel. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. We checked green hookup. Thanks, Chris. And for Bob, I'm looking at a picture here from imaging. They're suggesting that if you look just past the button, there's a slide lock. And the thought is that slide lock could have been slid to the locked position. It would take your thumb movement to kind of just slide it back to the unlocked position before you can make the camera work.
Yeah, I did check that lock earlier, just looking through the viewfinder. Sitting at something like an R68 or something, showing up in the bottom right instead of frames.
Okay, R68, we're checking, thanks.
Okay, now it's starting to work again.
Roger.
R68 is not there anymore.
Copy. Did you cycle the lock unlock, or did it just start working?
Well, it was in the unlocked position. I got about 2 pictures out of it, and then it stopped again. R68.
Okay, Bob, copy. Thanks for trying, and we're ready for you to retrieve your green hook.
Copy.
Sure. Ready for me to head towards the airlock?
And we just got that go, Chris. You can start heading towards the airlock. A reminder, we'll be putting back your fare lead on 3409 when you get to the cedar rail.
Okay. I'm going to make my way slowly.
Okay, that sounds good.
The H fixture. Close, I could touch it. See you next week, H fixture.
It's 5 hours and 23 minutes into today's spacewalk, where the astronauts completed the removal of 6 nickel hydrogen batteries and the installation of 3 lithium-ion batteries. Earlier we mentioned that this was the completion of those battery upgrades. However, there was a lost lithium-ion battery that shorted in April 2019, so there is still one more battery to be replaced. 23 of 24 new lithium-ion batteries have been installed, so there's just one more to go. That will be conducted on a future spacewalk.
I wonder if the button underneath the blanket is partially depressed.
It could be.
Zero 60 Bob, anchor hook closed and locked.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Gratuitous. That's fine. 3061, my anchor hook is closed and locked.
Copy, Chris. Bob, as a reminder, when you do get to the both CETA carts, you're going to be pressing the inboard brake releases twice. And Chris, just to let you know, we are still watching your CO2. There's no change to our plan right now. We're heading in. It has taken us, in terms of a limiting number, from 7 down to 630, so that's been the effect. Everyone here is content with the plan. We're bringing you straight back in.
Channel. Pass both CETA carts and on phase 1.
Copy, Chris.
I'm just about to arrive at our anchor points, Chris.
Copy.
NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Chris Cassidy whose helmet camera you are looking at right now, with the number 18 in the bottom, are now headed back in toward the International Space Station's Quest airlock, wrapping up both of their 9th spacewalks. Today, Chris Cassidy installed a new HD camera on the S3 on his way out to assist Bob Behnken with the S6 truss battery upgrades.
Guys, as you make your way in, we've completed the checkouts on all 3 battery pairs. They're all checkout nominally.
Good news. Super.
During their battery replacement tasks today, the astronauts removed 6 aging nickel-hydrogen batteries and replaced those with the 3 new lithium-ion batteries to power the station. And as you just heard, all 3 of those batteries are checking out well.
409.
Affirmative.
Earlier we mentioned that this completes all of the battery upgrades on the International Space Station, but unfortunately that's not the case. There was one lithium-ion battery that shorted out in 2019 and was lost, and that battery will need to be replaced. The battery that will replace it is currently aboard the International Space Station, and that will be conducted in a future spacewalk.
I'm at the outboard feeder cart.
Copy, Bob. I see the brake tap, thanks.
Touch the brake.
Air lead installed.
Copy, Chris.
Got my weave on.
The inboard feeder cart.
Copy, Bob.
And Bob, I'm just arriving at the airlock.
Copy that, Chris.
Thermal cover open.
Copy, Chris. Chris, you can work to stow the ORU bag, and then you'll be attaching your waist tether to the D-ring extender.
Okay, copy all. Closed and locked. Waist tether. Point to the D-ring extender, and the waist tether crew side hook is also closed and locked.
We copy.
You can see NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy has made his way back to the Quest airlock. We are now 5 hours and 31 minutes into today's spacewalk.
It was a long way out there.
Yeah. More like it's a long way back.
That was a short view of Bob Behnken's helmet camera. He was the lead spacewalker today, making his way back to the Quest airlock. Our coverage for today's spacewalk won't end until repressurization of the airlock begins.
On my way to my early location.
Copy, Bob. And just looking forward for you after you put that fair lead in. We're probably going to take you to the toolbox to grab the hammer before ingress.
Copy.
Were you bags in the airlock? Work on my safety tether.
Copy, Chris.
Go to the aft, correct?
Affirmative, Chris. You're using the aft external D-ring.
This view inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, as teams here have been monitoring and directing the spacewalk today. You can see in the red jacket there, that's Alison Bollinger. She was the flight director for today. To her right is Joshua Kutrick, Canadian Space Agency astronaut.
Blanket in that area to see if it makes any difference.
Copy, Bob.
Green hook. Closed, slider locked on the aft external D-ring. The reel is in unlock.
Copy, Chris. That's a good config with you now on the airlock D-ring extender from the airlock. You can release your yellow.
My yellow.
Concur.
We're getting the R68. Okay, I'll make my way down to the toolbox if you concur, Josh.
Are you loud and clear, Bob?
I've got you loud and clear as well.
And Bob, we were blocked, but we concur off to the toolbox.
Joshua Kutrick there in the light blue shirt. He is the voice you've heard talking with the astronauts when they've been outside the hatch today, relaying tasks and procedures. And to his right is NASA astronaut Anne McLean. She is the Capcom and will be communicating with the astronauts once they make it back into the hatch and repressurization begins. Behind Alison Bollinger is the EVA lead spacewalk officer today. That is Sandra Moore. She's been keeping tabs on the crew's spacesuits as they move throughout their tasks, and also walking through the procedures and feeding that information to the teams in the room.
And Bob,
Chris and I are having good comm, so just checking in with you.
Same with me.
yeah, we did not have you. We just got you back, guys. We copy you, have good comm. Bob, you're going to the starboard nadir toolbox. We expect the hammer to be on the door.
Range right this second. I've got 4 gray bars. Actually, it looks like it'll be a couple more minutes, too.
Just randomly start opening doors.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But, what I might do is I give you the camera.
Yep. I'll just take care of putting it up.